Okay, is the PPT visible now?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
we
is.
can
All
see it.
right. So good afternoon. I'm Satchik Agrawal. I'm a high school graduate from the Indian High School, Dubai, and I'm currently in my gap year. I'll be pursuing electrical engineering starting next year. I'm very grateful to be given this platform to speak before several distinguished leaders, guest speakers, and participants. I would like to thank the teachers and Ms. Natasha and ICFAI University. I'll be speaking on virtual reality and AI's role in making humans more empathetic. And throughout the presentation, I would encourage that everybody joins in the discussion and send in what you feel about the topic matter in the chat or by simply unmuting yourself by raising your hands. Mixed reality is a broad form of interaction between humans and computers in which real or imaginary environment is simulated. In simple words, virtual reality is placing yourself in the world of code. Uh, this is a VR headset. You must be familiar with this. You place this and you view a virtual simulation. And what you're doing is you're putting yourself in the world of code. Artificial intelligence, uh, artificial reality is placing code in the real world. What you do is you through a camera or through a phone and using a camera, you place a part of the code, a part of a simulation in the real world, and you view it using a camera. Over the next 10-20 minutes, I'll be talking about the connective link between artificial intelligence, virtual reality, AR, and empathy. Virtual reality enables us to enter experiences that we would otherwise not be able to do in a normal setting, like a classroom or even a hospital. A great example of this would be in the medical industry. With virtual reality, students can learn 3D imagery as well as performing examinations on virtual patients. I've conducted demo classes in my school where teachers supplemented learning by using VR headsets. We taught about 30 students in class 10. We taught them biology and physics. Many enthusiasts of virtual reality view the immersive technology as the ultimate empathy machine. Can you imagine that? Empathy just through technology that can help people relate with each other better than novels, TVs, or films can. So why is virtual reality touted as the ultimate empathy intervention? With its most ardent supporters saying that this is the next big thing in psychotherapy and in empathy interviews. Research published in Stanford Journal with nearly 5,000 participants concluded that different kinds of virtual experiences can increase empathy in users. Subgroup analysis revealed that virtual reality improved emotional empathy, but not cognitive empathy. In other words, virtual reality can arouse feelings of compassion and encouragement, and you allows users to imagine other people's perspectives. Further analysis revealed that virtual reality was more effective at increasing empathy than less technologically advanced empathy interventions such as reading and imagining about others' experiences. Let us now look at a filmmaker's attempt at recreating a more empathetic environment for delegates in the United Nations uh, meeting. His findings are presented in a TEDx conference. This camera was used, and it's a special device with special mics which can record all sounds at once and record all images at once. The next video we'll see will involve him explaining his process that he used to make his film, and his film will be viewed in a non 360 will be viewed in a non 360 environment setting. Just a minute, I'll share my sound. Okay.
Take this and we build basically a sphere of a world that you inhabit. So what I'm going to show you is not a view into the world, it's basically the whole world stretched into a rectangle. So this film is called Clouds Over Sidra, and it was made in conjunction with our virtual reality company called Verse and the United Nations and a co-collaborator named Gabo Aroro. And we went to a Syrian refugee camp in Jordan in December and shot the story of a 12-year-old girl there named Sidra. And her family fled Syria through the desert into Jordan, and she's been living in this camp for the last year and a half.
Next, let's view the short video clip from the movie Clouds of Sierra. It's voiced by the uh, student named Sierra in Jordan's refugee camps.
My name is Sidra. I am 12 years old. I am in the 5th grade. I am from Syria in the Dar'a province in Khil City. I have lived here in the Zatari camp in Jordan for the last year and a half. I have a big family, 3 brothers. One is a baby. He cries a lot. I asked my father if I cried when I was a baby, and he says I did not. I think I was a stronger baby than my brother. I like cloudy days. I feel like I am under a cover, like a blanket. Our teachers sometimes pick students who do not raise their hands to answer. So everybody raises their hand, even if they do not know the answer. But I do my homework and I know the answer if she calls on me. Some kids don't go to school. They want to wait until we are back home in Syria. I think it is silly to wait. How will they remember anything? And there is nothing better to do here anyway. We have to play football quickly because there are so many kids waiting to play. Especially now. Unlike home, here in Zatari, girls can play football too. That makes us happy. There are more kids in Zatari than adults right now. Sometimes I think we are the ones in charge. I think being here for a year and a half has been long enough. I will not be 12 forever.
That was the short video clip from the movie Sietra, as played in the UNICEF summit. Uh, Clearly, that was a very touching movie, and it was viewed from the perspective of a person actually being there. So reading about her wouldn't be enough. Watching a movie in in a plain 2D movie wouldn't be enough. Placing yourself in a perspective of a person actually visiting there, albeit a tall person, because the viewpoint is quite high, really places you in the a point of view of a person over there, and it literally places you in the shoes of a person actually at one of those refugee camps with Syrian refugees in Jordan. uh, I would encourage people to participate in discussions, and if you have any opinions on what you just saw, feel free to raise your hands, unmute yourselves, and uh, voice your opinions and thoughts.
If I may, I think in this particular scenario, like feeling the feelings of refugees in the camps, refugee camps on different locations in the entire world, feeling that whole situation through VR and through AI, it is possible, and so we can inculcate the feeling of empathy and make the children or the youth realize what is happening outside there, which we do not actually value, which we get easily in our daily lives. We are very much comfortable um, in particularly different situations. But then, yes, feeling those situations of refugees in different camps, we can actually get into their shoes and understand what they go through. And so we start valuing emotions, human emotions, more than anything then. I think that is one of the points which I get very clearly through this kind of video.
Yes, and we can talk about the actual impact this movie has created. This was presented at the UNICEF Summit and it's promoted by UNICEF Ireland. So, what does this video actually do? Our topic of discussion is ethics in technology. And ethics here, so this video has allowed people and delegates who would otherwise never been actually in the situation. They would have just listened about the facts, the millions of people in the refugee camps, the millions of pounds of food and supplies that they demand. They wouldn't have actually felt the pain of that person or felt uh, how it would be like living in that terrible situation. So being presented at these summits actually allows the delegations to make better decisions and more urgent decisions, which is how technology can help in improving human lives and the role ethics are playing in it. Are there any other opinions people would, that students would like to raise? Okay, let's look at the next present. Let's next look at the next topic. Can VR teach racial empathy? The disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on the people of color has shown us how racism and bias that lie at the root of health inequalities has a significant impact on our world. Let's learn more about the 1000 cut journey, an immersive virtual reality experience involving showcasing racism on a person who might otherwise never experience it. In this harsh virtual experience, viewers become Michael Sterling, a black man encountering racism as a young child, adolescent, and then as a young adult. Courtney Coburn will discuss her work using virtual reality technology to build a racial empathy and findings of a recent study using the 1000 cut journey as a component of professional development, which means this could be employed in office spaces and office training. Let's now hear from the creators of the 1000 cut journey. Their work was presented at an event in Columbia University's Center for Science and Society.
You have now become Mike Sterling. Look at yourself in the mirror.
So the idea of a 1000 cut journey is this notion that there are small and big things that happen all the time in a given life that create damage, that can have a negative impact on one's well-being, one's health. And so we sought to create an experience that would represent at least just a sliver of what some of that is from the perspective of a black male named Michael Sterling. I wanted people to be able to walk in someone else's shoes, and virtual reality sounded like a way for people to do that. And using VR gave us an opportunity to think not just about very blatant things that someone may yell or say or do to you in this very explicit sense, but also ways that we can represent a mother's worry about whether you'll have a negative encounter with the police on the street, the types of content that you might observe on the news just in the background in a scene where you're seeing a news alert about an unarmed teen being killed by a police officer. So we really sought to try and capture both in-your-face type of experiences, but also subtleties and nuances that maybe not everyone picks up.
The work that we have done really looks to differentiate the effects of experiences in virtual reality versus other types of media. And so we not only create these experiences, but we also run rigorous academic studies to look at the impact of these experiences on people's attitudes and behaviors for others. And what we're looking at is trying to see, like, is VR a more powerful tool than other types of media? And typically the answer to that question we found has been yes. Something that we study in the lab is called embodiment, and how in virtual reality you're able to take the first person perspective of another person. So you can look down at your body and see that you're a different race or a different gender. And so what we find is that this sense of embodiment really lends itself to how much immersion you feel in the experience, and that we can induce something called body transfer. And this is a psychological feeling that you've become someone else.
I do think that virtual reality, as it continues to evolve, will become an important tool for helping us to understand experiences that are very different from our own in a way that other forms of media aren't capable of doing. And so, no, I don't think it will eradicate racism, but I do think it has the potential to be an important tool along the road to racial equality in our society.
Once again, virtual reality is being used.
You have now.
Once again, virtual reality is being used as a tool for empathy. It may not eradicate the problem, but it helps us be one step closer to understanding the problem. You no longer have to imagine someone else's experience. You no longer have to imagine someone else's perspective. You're thrust into someone else's shoes and forced to actually view their perspective. Thus, virtual reality can show us our cultural reality as it puts us in the shoes of a new person, literally changing our perspective. Thus, we can conclude that virtual reality has become a private space for your mind, a place for you to think. It can be a place for you to explore something uncomfortable in a protective simulation. Virtual worlds can be very removed from the real world or be labs to explore human behavior, which means it could be a completely imaginative world as used in gaming, or it could be something very realistic as we've just seen in the last video. Studies have shown that virtual reality is so distracting that it can be surprisingly effective painkiller compared with traditional medicine. Hence, it is used in psychological treatment. So all five senses are now tricked into thinking what is code is actually reality. Virtual reality is therefore a huge step in being an effective tool for empathy. Now, how can AI help? What is the main use of AI in aiding in virtual reality? Virtual reality and artificial intelligence are not new, and they have been interlinked for quite a while now. The use of VR to create simulated environments that we can submerge ourselves into is the role of VR. While AI aims to outfit technological devices with keen insight and perception of a responsive being. What this means is it allows technology to be better suited to an individual user. It can modify and personalize an individual's experience. And second, and more importantly, it can improve the simulations and visuals. So joining together virtual reality and artificial intelligence could provide us with some incredible opportunities. It is exciting to think about what these two emerging fields will bring together. Let's look at an example of ways that virtual reality and AI can be used together in education and in gaming. So let's see the example of AI and VR entertainment. Virtual reality has dramatically changed the shape of the entertainment. Virtual reality headsets immerse gamers into simulated environments so they actually feel like they're in the game, and lets thrill seekers experience a death-defying speeds and heights of roller coasters, for example. While virtual reality is already a dynamic part of the entertainment industry, as you've seen in movies and in games, the introduction of AI will make it even more exciting. AI would make the background characters in a video game more intelligent. These characters would be able to react to real life players. It would take gaming to a whole new level by making it more engaging and exciting. And ultimately, the second main use of artificial intelligence would be to improve graphics and graphic simulations in virtual reality. So, and what does it look like in education? The use of AR in education is quite literally, it makes people feel as if they're experiencing something that they will never be able to experience otherwise, and truly immerse themselves in the field of study. Teachers spend a lot of time actually motivating students to study a new concept. We're not always able to select the classes we take, and there are some compulsory classes, especially in our lower levels until grade 10. So teachers can actually teachers actually spend a lot of time motivating students to study a given topic, and students these days are automatically very tech savvy. So using technology in education, specifically using AR, motivates students to learn something that would otherwise be very boring to them. So the future of education is also quite exciting thanks to technological advances. Let's look at this interactive presentation. AR can be used to present different information in a more meaningful way. Here is a wonderful video explaining the working of the heart using a phone that utilized AR technology. These are the various body systems in the human body. the phone is being hovered around a given template, and it's these can be viewed through the screen of a phone, ultimately making the learning experience very exciting. And this is the working of heart. Not only is it very exciting, it's also it allows us to visualize things better and view the different components, separating out individual components and having a more clear view and better understanding of the topic. Certainly, it would have been exciting to have been used these kinds of technologies while we were in school or while you guys were in school. Next, virtual field trips. While studying far off places that they would otherwise never be able to visit, AR can bring students to locations that they're studying in their history textbooks, and learn about times that they have never visited before. And ultimately, this again ties into the effect of technology and empathy. We no longer have to imagine those experiences. We are placed into those experiences, and hence can understand them better. Let's have a look at this video of a teacher in Texas discussing her use of VR for field trips.
For our first lesson, I wanted them to see famous libraries. I wanted them to see museums. We took them to a castle in France and in Stockholm. What I feel like the headset should do for our students is to experience a world outside of New Braunfels. To basically go on a virtual field trip just in our classroom here in Texas, for them to see all these different places around the world, it can expand their view. The lesson we did today is actually guided by the teacher. So I go into the teacher portal of Class VR and I set up all the images or the videos that I want the students to view. And I move them through the slides as we go. They can all see the same thing at the same time. However, within those slides in a 360 image, there's like a million things that they could be looking at all at once. The teacher side is able to click on a particular part of the photo or the video that they want the students to look at. The arrows then point them in that direction, and I can see every single headpiece that's looking at the image that I want them to at the same time. So that way everyone's looking at the same thing and noticing the same thing at the same time.
So we can clearly see that the teachers are effectively very much involved in the discussions and leading the classroom discussions, and students can be transported in different places. I see that someone has raised their hands. Would you like to add to some point of discussion?
Yes, Satvik, I just want to ask a question out of curiosity. I mean, when we are visualizing the things directly, like you said in the field trips and all, we can visualize everything directly and see the things that the teachers are teaching us, whether it's history or something. But in that case, don't you think that creativity or innovation in the students might be affected in a way? Because in a normal scenario where, like, when we studied, we used to imagine what the scenario used to be like in those days. So do you think that creativity and innovation of students will be affected in that manner?
Okay, that's a really good question. So as technology advances, we are relying less on our memory. For example, we no longer have to memorize phone numbers. In fact, I don't remember a time where I used to memorize phone numbers. We are moving our part of our memories and a part of our abilities, and we are distributing that work to technology. One, that makes our jobs easier. We can now remember more important things, and rather we can free up our minds to reflect on and be better critical thinkers. That's one thing. Second, if this technology is making students rely less on their creativity, then that simply means that they uh, need to apply their creativity in new ways. I'll come to that point, how they can apply their creativity in this field in the upcoming slides.
Okay, Satvik, can you please check your chat messages on the chat box?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thus, we have concluded that virtual reality is useful in empathy, education, various other sectors, and ultimately it can help us visualize and understand other people's perspective, other people's positions better. It helps students feel special and give specialized learning. And it also helps in not just students and also adults to effectively visualize new scenarios. Lastly, I would like to leave you with one question, that this technology will create a big divide in society at a very fundamental level. That is the education of young children. If someone would like to expand on this, if time permits, we can do that. And lastly, if you would like to learn more about the various fields in which AR and VR could be used, like art, filmmaking, newsmaking, classroom teaching, and self-guided learning, please visit this link. It contains several resources that you can use to create your own AR and VR content for yourselves. And it also has links to the video shown today. And to answer Ms. Angel's question, so now the students need to be more creative in the sense that they need to create their own VR and AR content and VR material. That way they can still enhance their creativity while utilizing this wonderful technology. So thank you so much for your kind attention. If you would like to reach out to me, here's my LinkedIn and my email address, hellosatwik@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to take any questions if time permits. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Satvik. That was a wonderful presentation and a very relatable content with the theme of the summit and an extendable, positive way of showing this. If we have Dr. Meena with us. So, ma'am, I would like to kind of address, make you do the addressing for the closing address, closing of the ceremony, because there were some beautiful presentations and all of them are thinking in the thinking mode right now. So you may please conclude the whole summit.
Yes, thank you so much, Natasha. It was a very well organized summit. And I must say, we learned so many new things from such young and enthusiastic participants. I would like to congratulate all of you for your participation, for your efforts. I know a lot of efforts must have gone down into preparing for this summit. And special thanks to Natasha, to Angel, to Saloni for coordinating the event in a meticulous fashion. And I must say it was really, really very, very enriching for all of us. Now, Satvik was the last one. I was really impressed with the presentation that he was making, and with such a gentle and cool voice, he could answer it as if he's a seasoned, so young, but it looked as if he has been doing such presentations in the past also. So Satvik, your presentation was really very, very good, very enriching. We learned a lot from it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words.
Would love to have you participating in our future events also, Satvik.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would love to participate. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
That goes for all our participants who had actually participated, had their presentation done. Jordan from Kampala, Uganda, Makerere University, if I'm pronouncing that correct, he was talking of artificial intelligence and its use in economy and how it regulates and invests the money, how we can do so through AI. Then the question that was discussed with Gift Teresa on the ethical aspect of it with respect to law, that was great. Jordan, you have been a very, very enthusiastic participant. I have seen you from day one. It was really very good. Jordan, are you there?
I am.
Okay. Okay, Jordan. Yeah. So what are you doing at the moment? What are you pursuing? Which course?
I'm pursuing law with the intention to niche in the commercial aspect of it. I want to see how we can make businesses bigger and better, and how we can fix the economic divide between people of color and those that aren't.
Great, great. So your presentation was also really very good and helpful. Angel from ICFAI University, Dehradun Law, she discussed about artificial intelligence and terrorism. It was well detailed, a very detailed presentation with all percentages, numbers, statistics, and it described how the technological artificial intelligence advancements may be misused in wrong hands. That is, if these things fall into the hands of terrorists, how it is going to actually harm it. There we will see the disadvantage of technology, the growing technology. She points out how Dr. Shahid's lines, good to see that she has been alert and attentive from the very first day. Somebody is
Thank you,
speaking.
ma'am.
Yes, yes. Yes, so Angel, that was very good. Your presentation was very good. Then I have some more points also. Then I think, Angel, you had taken up the topic of democratization also, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Scalability, the inherent asymmetry and terrorism, which is the need of the hour. We require such insight, such fruitful discussions from young participants like you who can actually make a constructive change in the society and with what is going on around us at the moment. So, you know, it gives you so much of hope also that young people are actually focusing on such important aspects. So when they are focusing on that aspects, we are very sure that you'll be coming out with answers to the challenges also. So the growing societal dependence on the artificial intelligence, the technological aspect, and how artificial intelligence invokes terrorism, the drone, the attack, the biomimicking, the information collection, the virtual currency, cryptocurrency, social media, well-detailed explanation of the drone attack in Jammu and Kashmir. Very good, Angel. Keep it up. Then Hemang from Hyderabad. He is a self-learned student who spoke on the topic of artificial intelligence in SDGs and the climate change. And he explained without PPT, that is even more commendable. But he kept our participants keen and hooked to the topic. Now, showing PPT, I'm not demeaning anybody when I'm saying that, but showing PPT makes your job so much easy. But when you have to speak on a particular topic, you have to ensure that the participants are glued to what you're saying, they're taking interest in what you're saying. And that is exactly what Hemang did. He spoke freely and comfortably with us and have had everybody, you know, listening to him with rapt attention. Then there was Akiso Lorna, the human rights and artificial intelligence. Sorry? Okay, there is some, somebody
I've muted.
Okay, okay. So Akiso Lorna, she spoke on human rights and AI. She enjoyed day one of artificial intelligence and spoke on artificial intelligence in human rights. This again is a very pertinent, very relevant and a burning topic. Human rights is very important to create awareness, and the role that artificial intelligence plays in actually preserving and protecting our rights is very important. So it the aspects of law in her explanation, she quoted few people, brought into account different data also, thereby seeing that she's a keen, I could, like all other participants must have noticed and must be of the view that I have, that she is a keen and attentive reader who likes to increase her knowledge. She talks about discrimination on color. There was an active discussion after her presentation with Jordan, Akiso, Satwik, and Gift Teresa. Gift adds on to Akiso's topic with real-life examples of robots, cops introduced during the COVID pandemic. Well done, Akiso Lorna, very well presented. Then there was Anit Bazingji, I do not know how to pronounce the surname.
Miss
So I'll
Anita,
say
yes, Miss Anita was there. She also present. She is present over here right now, ma'am.
Anita. Oh, yes, it's Anita. Yes. So Anita, you talked about artificial intelligence and the climate change. Again, this is very important. See how we are experiencing the climate change nowadays in our daily lives, how we notice it and we do not know the reason, and how artificial intelligence is used to bring out the pattern of changes of climate in Uganda that it has faced in the recent past, the droughts and the floods. So the challenges faced there, the political interference affect the use of artificial intelligence with the climate change, insufficient budgets, the lack which lacks support to detect the climate challenge, the misallocated funds that you talked about, which neglects the environment. So your presentation was also very enriching and very, very good. Supratim Basu, he has not presented physically, but his presentation was presented by Saloni. He explained the use of artificial intelligence in education sector and also told if not used ethically as an assistant, it may prove to be a monster. So all these healthy discussions, so Supratim, very well done, very good. I wish you were there in person to present it. Maybe next time you will be there. So all these discussions were very good. But you know what we have to, the major takeaways is what we actually, what the presenters have done and what we can contribute in, you know, implementing actually. So this is just not a summit where you just present your paper. We have to take all these forward. When we take these forward, we have to implement it. We have to contribute and chip in our own way in which we can actually make changes and have, you know, create difference in the society. So this is my request to all of you. Very well done. Please go ahead with it. This is just a beginning only, and I'm very sure that in future we will be having more such events. And thank you once again to all the organizers. Natasha ma'am, your initiative has been very good, has been fruitful. Whatever we had anticipated we'll get out of the summit, I think we've already got it. So all the participants, thank you very much. You will be receiving your certificates very shortly. And thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, over to Natasha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, participants. Thank you, participants. You may be receiving your certificates soon, within a week, as mentioned before. So I think that will be all from our end. In case if someone wants to share anything, you can speak, or else we will be done for today's event. I'm sure it is too lengthy for you, but it's great that you have hooked up onto these.
Natasha, I would like to add one point. If there are questions from the participants, they can send the questions on your mail, and you know, you can send to the respective participants and get the answers.
True, ma'am. I think the same I had asked them to do for the speakers, because they were having some relevant questions for the speakers. And let me tell you that the speakers lately replied to my mail saying that if the participants are having queries, they can send the mail and I can be facilitating the mails to and fro and give them a brief reply. So in case if you have, so please do connect. And you have my mail ID. You can send me the email with your questions and I'll get the answers to you. Thank you so much, Dr. Meena. Ma'am, you have been very much encouraging to all of us. And thank you for closing the ceremony for this summit. Thank you, participants. See you all. Have a great day.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you.